Hi there, it's me again, Ron McCracken. I just wanted to talk for a few minutes about the news that came out the other day. Um, well, first we got the news of her death, and then got the news that a young lady named Katie Meyer had died by suicide. Now, I did not know her personally, but she, just to give a brief description, she was captain of the soccer team at Stanford University, which we all know is an elite university. Um, she was on the dean's list this past semester. She apparently was well known among female athletes throughout the country, because um, I've seen a lot of female athletes on Facebook and Instagram and places like that posting news stories about her death, which are just tragic. She was 22 years old. But of course, inevitably, and you see this especially on venues like Facebook, when that stuff is posted, the news stories about her death by suicide, the inevitable completely ignorant comments about suicide. And some of the most prevalent are things like, this younger generation, they don't know what adversity is. They just ain't tough enough. They just ain't tough enough. What a load of bullshit. Really, on topics like this, people who don't have a good understanding and knowledge of it really need to just shut up. Hate to be blunt, but sometimes you have to use a sledgehammer. Just to me, that was just horrifying. And they're not even, well, they probably don't care anyway, but either or, they're not cognizant of the fact that some of her friends and family may well be reading those comments. And those are just nothing but hurtful and traumatic, I'm sure, for people who personally knew her. And people doing that, they probably don't care anyway. But the reason I'm speaking about this as a mental health advocate is that that just that's people trying to add to the stigma around mental health and suicide and all things related to that. They're trying to add to the stigma, and as people who watch my videos and listen to my podcast know, that I do a lot of volunteer work for NAMI, National Alliance on Mental Illness, and I'm a peer support specialist for UT Southwestern's recovery workshop seminars, where we discuss in depth mental health conditions and addictions and their relations to each other. And we also talk about suicide, because that all ties in. And one thing to know is that mental health conditions and addictions almost always go together. Now, it hasn't come out, to my knowledge, it hasn't come out exactly how Katie Meyer died by suicide. Not that it matters a lot how. I have no idea if she drank or anything like that. The thing is, that's kind of irrelevant as far as placing blame. See, that's what people trying to put the stigma on that. They're trying to place blame, and they're trying to place blame on the victim. And the person who dies by suicide is a victim. And we need to end the silence and end the stigma. Those are hashtags for NAMI, National Alliance on Mental Illness. Always end the silence, end the stigma. And that's largely why I share my story, my PTSD recovery journey, and other aspects of my personal journey. Monday's going to make 34 months sober for me, and that's made a world of difference. But I am doing all this, serving as peer support specialist in recovery, in the recovery workshop seminars, and formerly known as Recovery 101 seminars. I'm doing that and sharing my story, making my podcasts, making my videos precisely to end the stigma and end the silence, and to do that forever. And because it doesn't help, it leads to a lot more deaths, it leads to a lot more addictions, it leads to a lot more problems when we stigmatize and demonize these things. I know that in my personal journey, that is a big part of what held me back from getting the help that I needed. Now, there were other factors involved as well, namely that I had no money and no insurance, which was a long-running thing for me. Still don't have any money, but I have insurance now. But I just wanted to share some thoughts on that. That's just, I know the news came out about her death, and I had a bad feeling about it because she was only 22 years old, star athlete, apparently in very good physical health and everything. And just to die that young, I had a bad feeling that there was either foul play or something else going on. And that's something I didn't want to be right about. Hey, Zeusy. By the way, that's my Zeus. That's my emotional support dog, Zeus. Don't know what I would do without him. And see, we all have people that have had to deal with mental health conditions. We all have, if we're fortunate, we have some kind of support system. Zeus is a big part of mine. Of course, he's doing dog stuff now. Got the itchies, but I just want to make this and just remind people, if you or anyone you know is struggling with a mental health condition, first thing you do is that old physician adage about do no harm. One of the best things you can do is active listening. Reach out to them. Just let them kind of just know that you're there, that you support them. And I've had a few people who were very close to me who died by suicide, and the pain left behind is just awful. But you can't minimize any of that. But I'm thankful that the last conversations I had with them, the last several conversations I had with them for a while were good, positive. We didn't always talk about serious stuff like mental health conditions. Sometimes we did, but that was the best I could do. There were a couple of them, well, I think not all of them, but most of them, I knew they were struggling. I didn't realize just how badly they were struggling, but they were. And I'm glad that I didn't do any of the stuff of, turn that frown upside down and that kind of stuff. Because having been there, having been I was suicidal off and on for many years, that I know that's the kind of stuff that only hurts. It doesn't help. And, offer resources. If you're the one who's struggling, please reach out. Reach out to family, friends, priests, teachers, whatever you're most comfortable with. or if it's an anonymous suicide hotline, or if you can find therapy, be open and honest with your therapist at all times. Well, I just wanted to share all that, and because it's really, honestly, it's really disturbing to me that since 2022, we're going into Sunday, March 6th, 2022, and people are still that damn ignorant about it to say things like, well, I guess they weren't tough enough, or this or that, or they don't know what it's like to struggle. Well, most of the time you don't know them, and even if you do know them, you don't know everything they're dealing with a lot of times. And all of us are different. Some people are just a lot more resilient than others. I guess I was more resilient than I thought I was. Still not as resilient as a lot of other people, but there you go. Well, that's about it. Just remember, just throw some little platitudes out there, but they carry a lot of weight about be kind to people. You don't know what they might be struggling with, and trust me that if it is someone you personally know, you'll be forever thankful that you were on good terms with them when they did pass. But be kind to people and just be supportive of people who might be struggling. And remember, luminous beings we are. Y'all take care. Thanks for listening.